Dan DeBow, founder of Ripple. Killian Burrs, managing partner, Boston Consulting Group. John Love, managing partner of KingSett Capital. Mark Cohan, former commissioner of the CFL, our one winning team. Michael Nobrega, former CEO of OMERS and chair of the board of Ontario Centres of Excellence. Sabi Marwa, former COO of Scotiabank. Sheldon Levy, president of Ryerson University. Brian Porter, president and CEO of Scotiabank. Don Walker, CEO of Magna. And Francis Shen, founder of Astra Technologies. I will now ask Nadir to please come forward and say a few words.
Thank you, Tom, and good afternoon, everyone. And congratulations, Michael and Tom. It's a fabulous group and a terrific turnout. But let me begin with a huge thank you to you, Premier Wynne, for your government's support for this, I believe, truly important initiative. I'd also like to thank the members of the Scale Up Ventures Leadership Council for being here as well as showing their support throughout this process. It's unbelievable, the group that we've assembled, so thank you and take a big hand. Now, today's announcement is an important one for Ontario's economy. It's important because it targets a critical, crucial gap in our existing innovation ecosystem. Unlike 10 years ago, today I believe Ontario does a pretty good job of incubating startups at their early seed stage. So if you have an idea, you want to start a business, it's a pretty good place to get you going. And our success really has been through the efforts of the provincial government under Premier Wynne and previous leadership, but also with early stage incubators like the OCE, Communitech, Mars, Ryerson's, DMZ, and others. And importantly, people like angel investors and entrepreneurs. Frankly, a lot of you in this room have made that part of the ecosystem successful. The real challenge, the critical, crucial challenge today comes when it's time for our startups to actually scale up, to move to the next stage and to become full-fledged, thriving companies. And when you step back and consider the number of startups that graduate from all of these incubators, you quickly realize that many worthy young firms have trouble scaling up their operations. And the few that do succeed in growing often do so, frankly, by moving south of the border. I believe collectively we can do much better. In fact, I believe we must do much better. We need to build a significantly more robust innovation ecosystem to support promising young startups as they grow and get past the early stages. So what does that mean? What do we need? It means better access to what's known as patient capital. In other words, access to capital, money, investors who aren't in a hurry, who don't need a return in 3 years, and are prepared to help our firm go through the many stages we all know it takes to go from a startup to a thriving business that's succeeding. It means access to Canadian companies and a network of customers. And it means access to expertise and mentorship. Scale Up Ventures was created to precisely do these things: provide patient capital, customer networks, and expertise. I've had the chance to talk to a lot of young entrepreneurs, and it's clear from speaking to them that their most crucial need is access to local customers. That means breaking through to corporate Canada, much of which is represented on the stage right behind me. I also talked to a lot of Canadian business leaders, and I know they understand how critical it is for their companies to embrace the new technologies and embrace innovation, because they realize that innovation is essential for their own firms to change, to adopt, to survive in this new age. So on the one hand, we have corporate Canada, recognizing the need to invest in innovation. On the other hand, we have young companies that have the desire and need the access to corporate Canada as a customer base. And it's the marriage of these two needs that makes up Scale Up Ventures' differentiation. It is the focus of Scale Up Ventures. It is where I believe we will succeed. And to guide Scale Up Ventures, we have more than 30 of Canada's top business executives and entrepreneurs committing their time, their organization to the success of these ventures. As you can tell, we come from all sectors of Ontario's economy, and as you can see, many of us are here today. We'll be offering the benefit of our experience to these young firms as they map out their strategy for growth. But even more importantly, we will also help execute their strategy. We will bring our connections to the table to help them gain market penetration, to help them gain access to markets locally, nationally, and internationally. And I had the chance to speak with each business leader. What really struck me was their commitment to this endeavor, to really making a difference. Personally engaging because they believe embracing innovation and entrepreneurship is not only key to their business, but frankly to our nation's prosperity. Their personal commitment is an investment in Ontario's economic future. And of course, Premier Wynne, it's the government's initial $25 million investment which has made this initiative possible. So thank you once again, Premier Wynne, for your support for the Scale Up Ventures Fund. And I look forward to coming back here with you to celebrate many future successful Scale Up Ventures in the years coming. Thank you again.
Whose wristband technology identifies the user through their unique heartbeat and eliminates the need for passwords. Carl was a recent winner of OCE's Martin Walmsley Award. Ariel Garten is co-founder and CEO of Interaxon, creators of Muse, the brain-sensing headband that helps you improve your mental fitness and reduce stress. Interaxon and the University of Toronto were recent winners of OCE's Mind to Market Award. Please come forward, Carl and Ariel.
4 years ago, what we were known as BioNIM at the time, and now we're known as NIMI. My co-founder and I founded the company based on PhD research, and I wouldn't even call it commercialization at that point. It was pre-commercialization, and we just had our technology and figuring out what to do with it, and too early for private capital. And right there to support us was the Ontario Centres of Excellence and the province of Ontario. And we could not, honestly, we would not exist today without that early level of support, because it was early, it's risky, it's based on research, the applications are not obvious. And it took us a few years to figure it out. And now 4 years later, we've gone on to raise over $15 million in private capital, employ over 40 employees. And so I'm here really just to thank OCE, the province of Ontario, and the Premier for that support, because we would not be here if it were not for that. So thank you.
Premier Wynne, it is a sincere honor to be here to thank you. My company, Interaxon, is here thanks to your support. We all know that innovation is required in order for us to thrive. And Premier Wynne's government has been extraordinarily innovative in their approach to creating this ecosystem and funding this ecosystem. 6 years ago, I too was a small startup, just a seed of an idea. And with the support from Wynne's government, from McGuinty's government, from Ontario Centres of Excellence, Mars, and the other RICs, we were able to create a product that is now sold globally. We've sold to over 68 countries. We're available in Best Buy Canada and Best Buy US. We've generated over $50 million in value in Ontario, and we're going on to work with over 50 research institutions like Mayo, Harvard, etc. Muse is a tool that's helping people understand and improve their mind and improve their lives, tackling diseases like autism, ADHD, epilepsy, stress, depression, and more. Premier Wynne, it is thanks to your innovative vision that everyone in this room can be proud to be an Ontarian, can be proud to be generating value for not only the people here, the people at this conference, the innovative ideas that we have that will build Ontario, but these ideas will also go on and build the entire world. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and from all of us here.
Thank you, Carl and Ariel, for your remarks. Premier Wynne, thank you again for joining us today and for your government support of innovation. We look forward to working with you and your government in the days ahead as we continue to create the best possible environment for encouraging entrepreneurism and innovation in Ontario. Thank you also to Nadir Mohammed and the rest of the Leadership Council for their passion for innovation and entrepreneurship. This is truly an exciting announcement. Finally, I would like to also thank our colleagues across the ministries whose efforts we greatly appreciate. In particular, I would like to recognize Minister Moridi and Minister Duguid and their teams, including Deputy Minister Giles Gerson, Assistant Deputy Minister Bill Mantell, and George Cadet, Director of the Commercialization Branch. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a big round of applause to thank our 25th Premier, the Honourable Kathleen Wynne, for joining us here today. I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker for today,